Proverbs 31 and start from Proverbs 31:10 on. So I'm going to read that. And it says, "Who can find a virtuous wife? For her worth is far above rubies. The heart of her husband safely trusts her, so he will have no lack of gain. She does him good and not evil all the days of her life. She seeks wool and flax and willingly works with her hands. She is like the merchant ships. She brings her food from afar. She also rises while it is yet night. She provides food for her household and a portion for her maidservants. She considers a field and buys it. She considers a field and buys it. From her profits, she plants a vineyard. She girds herself with strength and strengthens her arms. She perceives that her merchandise is good, and her lamp does not go out by night. She stretches out her hands to the distaff, and her hands hold the spindle. She extends her hand to the poor. Yes, she reaches out her hand to the needy." While I'm reading this, I want you guys to point out all the things that this woman is. Put it in the comments, what you're hearing. All the multiple things that this woman is doing. What is she? Entrepreneur? There's so many things. Type it in the comments. Yes, she reaches out her hands to the needy. She is not afraid of snow for her household, for all her household is clothed with scarlet. She makes tapestry for herself. Her clothing is fine linen and purple. Her husband is known in the gates when he sits among the elders of the land. She makes linen garments and sells them, and supplies sashes for the merchants. Strength and honor are her clothing. She shall rejoice in time to come. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and on her tongue is the law of kindness. She watches over the ways of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children rise up and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her. Many daughters have done well, but you excel them all. Charm is deceitful and beauty is passing. But a woman who fears the Lord, she shall be praised. Give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. My. Yes, this is a boss lady. She is an entrepreneur. Her hands are always at work. She is building. She is planting. She is doing all these things. It says she finds, one part that stood out to me is, which I didn't realize before. Where is it? It says, where is it? Should have highlighted that part. But it's so many things, oh my gosh, that this woman does. It says, she rises while it is yet night and provides food for her household and a portion for her maidservants. She considers a field and buys it. That part stood out to me. She considers a field and buys it. She considers the field and buys it. She is not going and say, honey, can we buy this field? Can we buy this land? She's like, no, this land is what I want and I'm going to buy it. So she considers a field and buys it. From her profits, she plants a vineyard. So she considers a field, she buys it. And then from her profits, she plants a vineyard. So some people think that a woman back in the day didn't work. But this is telling us, yes, she did. She was a multitasker. She had a full-time job on top of a full-time job on top of a full-time job. And it says that she considered her profits and planted a vineyard. So this woman was working. This woman was making money or profits, whatever the profits were during that time. And she was buying land. She considered a field and buys it. And for her profits, she plants a vineyard. She girds herself with strength and strengthens her arms. She perceives that her merchandise is good. She perceives that her merchandise is good. She is selling merchandise. She is creating her own merchandise and selling it. She considers her merchandise, she perceives her merchandise and it is good. And her lamp does not go out by night. So this woman, there is no 8 hours, 9 to 5. She is working day in and day out. And even sometimes she's up in the night. So, which I love that we're reading this today, because sometimes we think, oh, we're doing too much. But God has created us to do more than we ever thought that we can do. Beyond an 8-hour job. And it's so funny that we have a whole chapter dedicated to the Proverbs 31 woman. You don't see a lot about the man and the husband in this. If you even go back through this, it even talks about how we as women, how the husband safely trusts us, because so he will have no lack of gain. So he trusts the woman so he can continue to do well. The heart of her husband safely trusts her, so he will have no lack of gain. So as this man is yes, he's the head of the household, but this woman is also his helpmate, and to make sure that he is also successful and he also succeeds in his daily adventures or businesses that he also has. But the woman is the backbone, because so the husband is trusting on the woman to make sure that he is set up and he is well taken care of, so he can have no lack of gain. So this is interesting to me. And this is the woman, and I want you guys to always remember that it says, for her worth is far above rubies. We are precious. We are the precious commodity of this society. Without women, where would we be? Where would the society be? Because, you know, if you go back through history, sometimes the woman is X'd out because they don't want to really give the credit to her, and men are taking credit for something that women created. If you go back even to the movie is leaving me, but with the 3 black women who helped the rocket ship, the spaceship go up, and what's the name of the movie? I can't think of it. But they did not get credit for it until after the fact. But those were strong leaders, and they were so smart, and they were able to accomplish things that the man couldn't even do. If you can think of the movie, please put it there. But this makes me excited because there's moments when maybe you can relate that you feel like I'm always busy. I'm always Hidden Figures. Yes, Rochelle. I don't know why I couldn't get the movie. Yes, Valerie, Hidden Figures. So there's moments when, I don't know, maybe you feel like I'm always doing something. I'm always busy. I'm always having to take care of this. And as soon as you open your eyes, work starts. As soon as you open your eyes, work begins. And you're constantly working all the way until night. And we don't get enough credit for what we do. We're underpaid for all the tasks and the things that we do. But God has built us. And he says we are worth far more than rubies. And we have strength. We are girded with strength. So I pray that I want you guys to take the opportunity to read this over again to yourselves and ask yourself, how does the scripture speak into you and the things that you have, because it helps you recognize that the things that you have already been doing is what makes you a Proverbs 31 woman. Because sometimes we think, we haven't lived up. There's too many people saying I'm not a Proverbs 31 woman. She does too much. She does a lot. But if you think about it, what you're already doing has already created you to be a Proverbs 31 woman. You're already multitasking. You already wear all these different hats. You're already doing so much. And this excites me because just over these past few weeks, I'm like, oh, I wear so many hats. Can I peel back the layers and just be this one thing and stand for this one thing? But God says, no, you cannot, because I created you to do so much more. So I'm feeling like, okay, God, I can run multiple businesses like I've already started doing, and it's okay that I don't have to peel back layers just to present myself a certain way to people. This is who I am, and this is who God has created us to be. Multitaskers. He has created us to be worthwhile, just worthy. You are worthy. You are worthy. So when you start getting to that point where you feeling like you're not worthy or you're not worth anything, think about all the things that you do day in and day out that supports your home, that supports society, that supports your workplace, that supports just your day-to-day, everything that you do on a day-to-day basis. Because you are a Proverbs 31 woman. You may not, I pray that when you read this again to yourself, that you recognize your value and all that's within you and all that you're already doing. Oh my goodness.